Okay, this is Joe Leigh here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be once again joined by BEN SHALOM. How are you, Ben?
Very well, how are you?
Yes, all good. We obviously spoke a couple of days ago. PFL, Clarissa Seals, Marshall. It was good to kind of clarify September's looking like what the date's going to be, 3rd or the 10th. What's the latest? Obviously, we saw Clarissa. Do you genuinely believe there's animosity there? Clarissa seemed to believe so when we spoke. You said there's respect as well, deep down.
I keep trying to calm it down because I respect both of them so much. I think what Clarissa's done for the sport cannot be denied, and how Savannah has come on. I mean, I used to watch her when she was like middle of the card, and I just used to think, wow, like she can punch. She's sort of an untapped superstar, and I think we've seen that in the 12 months. She's been headlining shows. She's come out of her shell. I'd love to see the respect there, but there isn't right now. Fair enough. They've got a lot of history, and they've been calling each other out. But I think that's what makes this fight so big. Yeah, I don't think we've seen that before in the women's sport. In women's boxing, I really don't think we have those genuine rivalries like we do in the men's sport. That's why I'm so excited about this fight. Like genuinely, I was inspired by Taylor Serrano. I thought it was a fantastic event. I thought it was amazing that they managed to sell so many tickets in Madison Square. Obviously, they had the Irish support of Katie and the Puerto Ricans. But I think for this one, the story's so good and the characters are so big, and it's UK and it's US, and the styles just match. And I'm a boxing fan, and I just love it. I think it's amazing.
Where is it going to be? Is it going to be Newcastle, Hartlepool? I don't know. Do you have a venue that you could announce?
I think the fight's got so big now that we're looking at making it in an international event in the UK, but we want to make sure it's accessible to anyone, and that's sort of been the thought process. And so we've been discussing with a couple of different venues, but it's going to happen in the UK early September, September the 3rd or September the 10th, and both fighters are ready.
Is it more likely London now, you'd say?
Maybe, yeah. Look, I've got to be careful because I want to wait till when contracts are signed. I never want to just bullshit, but the fight is happening September the 3rd or September the 10th in the UK.
Brilliant, look forward to it. And obviously we're here in Camden today for Riakporhe Turchi. It was meant to happen earlier on this year, but for Riakporhe it's a good opportunity to step up in the rankings in the IBF.
Exactly that. It's 12 months I've been with Richard, and we said that we would get to a world title, and we want to be loyal to our fighters. Whatever anyone thinks of anyone, if we signed you, we'll try and be loyal. And Richard, we promised him world title. I really believe in him. I think he's learning boxing on the job. You've got to remember, when you start late, you're catching up. But he's gone through the whole division with absolute power and raw aggression. And however he's done it, he's done it. And now he's learning how to box with Angel Fernandez. I know that he's learning a lot on the job. Fabio Turchi is like the step between him and a world title. And he's ready. And he's going to be fighting a very difficult Fabio Turchi, very awkward, southpaw, going to try and nullify his power. That's what we want. We want tests for Richard. We don't want him to just be able to completely blast everyone out. If he can do it, and we know he's ready. But yeah, we believe world title will be next.
Oh, so you think after then Breeders, if no questions are asked after the fight?
Well, whether it's Breeders, whether it's Makabu, whether it's Gulamarian, we think he's ready.
Good. Looking forward to it. Obviously, on the undercard, you got Vidal Riley. What were the numbers like for him on the first fight? Obviously, transcending the audience, because usually he'll be fighting like differently. There's a YouTube audience there. Did that come across? Were they on Sky Sports when he fought Wilberforce?
His numbers are incredible. He doesn't like me talking about it because he could make millions outside of the ring. Look at his subscribers and things like that, but he's trying to shut himself away and focus on what he loves, which is the sport of boxing, and that's what we love to see. We talk so much how boxing is a route out of where you've been, but it's also people love the sport, and Vidal loves this sport and believes that he can go right to the very top, and it's exciting because I think I almost have more admiration for him because he doesn't need to do it. And I've seen it. I've seen how dedicated he is. I know how talented he is. I think that the whole of boxing in the inner circle knows how talented he is. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of him in the cruiserweight division. But obviously, his audience is enormous. And that's not normal for someone in their 4th or 5th fight. It's enormous. But he's a very, very talented fighter, very young fighter. And he's a huge, huge prospect for the future. And we think he's going to be a star.
How have you managed to pull like 90% of the Olympians? Man, honestly, I know Sky is a massive reason for that, but looking at all the stars other than Galal Yafai, they're basically all with Sky. Boxer.
Yeah, look, it is Sky. It's a massive attraction, but they wanted to see that we could be consistent. They wanted to see that we were honest. They wanted to see that we could put on big shows. But I think why it's surprising is when we came in, we said, you know what? Here's our budget. We decided how we're going to spend it, and we wanted to invest in the future. We wanted to develop talent. We don't just want to take fighters and this and that. We want to develop our own talent in our own way, in our own stars that we think can represent the sport in the best possible way and take it to heights and new heights that perhaps we can get to. And yeah, obviously delighted to be able to secure the fighters that we wanted, but it's just been hard work. Sky Sports, obviously a lot is made of the money we paid them, but I think it was competitive. I think it was competitive, and the fact that it was competitive alongside the Sky Sports machine and alongside the vision, I think that's what secured it.
I think the question people will ask is it sustainable?
Look, we are a young business. We're investing in the future, right? We don't spend huge amounts all the time on main events. We're building fighters. June 25th, Adam Azeem's in a world title fight. Carrie Sartingstall's making her debut. Yes, we've got other fights on there, but Sam Egginson in an IBO world title. But we're trying to think about tomorrow, and we're trying to make sure that we invest in tomorrow. That is the most sustainable thing any business can do. And we believe in those guys. We think it was an incredible Olympics, and we've invested in them. But we were only competitive. I think the fact is people perhaps didn't expect us to be competitive, and that's all it is. And we were ready, and we invested, I think, really, really well. And now we have a long future where we can see how big these guys can become.
100%. Do you think other promoters, Eddie, Frank, they're surprised with how well you did with signing most of the Olympians?
I don't know about surprised, and I want to make it, again, less about the promoters, because I'd never compare myself to the promoters. We're all working for a broadcaster. I'm working for Sky Sports. Eddie's doing a fantastic job with DAZN, and Frank, we're doing what we do. One thing I will say is I've got so much respect for them, because as much as they might be pursuing profits and making a lot of money, I know how hard they work. I've seen it, and I've just got nothing but respect. And, you know, they might be wanting to go down a certain route or say this or say that, but we're not. We want to focus on our fighters. We're very loyal to our fighters, and once you're in, we'll focus on you, and we'll do the best we can.
Okay, one fighter we have to talk about, Adam Azeem. He's been recognised not just by you guys at Sky Sports, but the whole boxing scene. A lot of people that don't even know too much about boxing, people know Adam Azeem.
Yeah, Adam Azeem is someone that is good man. Yeah, what a fighter. 19 years old. I'm just. You know, we're talking now and no one really knows who he is in the mainstream, but that kid is no joke. Like, he's going to transcend boxing. I think he's going to be an absolute superstar. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a freak of nature. He's an actual freak of nature. Ask anyone that sparred with him that might be at world championship level now, and ask if they want to spar with him again, or ask what they think of him. There's so much respect there in terms of in the boxing community. Shane McGuigan has told me repeatedly it's the best fighter he's ever had. He sells huge amount of tickets for where he's at in his career. He has a huge following. Hassan is also his brother and a very, very talented fighter. But the fact is, Adam Azeem wants to move extremely quickly. He's looking at people like Prince Nas. He's looking at people like Amir Khan. When did they become world champions? I want to do it quicker. You can't ask for anything more. And I'm just excited for everyone to get to know him, because it's very, very special, because we actually think we've got that generational talent there, and that's good for the sport and amazing for us and great for Sky as well.
Could you quickly talk about his fight on June 25th?
He'll be fighting in the World Youth title. As I say, he wants to move quickly. He obviously fought the Southern Area champion last time out. He's now ready to step up. He wants to go down the international route. We will guide him in the best way we possibly can. But at the end of the day, he wants to fight the best. If he could, he'd be fighting, real names in there now. He's obviously 19. We want to build his funnel, and we want to make sure he gets that journey. It's a new experience for him. He's now live on Sky Sports. He's gone from nothing to nearly headlining shows at 19 years old. But yeah, it's a great card on June 25th. Carys Hartingstall will be debuting as well. Sam Higginson in this world title fight. It's amazing to be able to give him that chance after having 2 Fight of the Year contenders. And then we're into July 2nd, where Hunter Fury, fingers crossed, lands. Ben Whittaker, fingers crossed, debuts. Caroline Dubois is back. A few other things going on. So it's a busy June and July. I'm really excited.
Cool. To cap off then, Deontay Wilder, big news recently. Obviously, the statue was released in America a couple of days ago, and obviously he announced his comeback as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think the heavyweight division, there's so many guys out there, whether in the UK and the US right now, some coming towards the end of the career, but I think now we saw, even for Deontay, to have those battles like he had with Tyson Fury over three, because for me, Tyson Fury was all wrong for Deontay Wilder, and the fact that he took it that close over 3 fights now shows how good he is, and I think he's probably sat there thinking he's the best of the rest, and it's great to have him back, and I can't wait to see him back in the ring. And there's so many opportunities out there for UK fighters that want their chance, and Deontay Wilder is a big fish.
Yeah, one fight, obviously, that's been talked about before, but I think it's really good, is Dillian Whyte. As for Dillian Whyte next, do we think he could be fighting on Sky next?
It's obvious possibility. He's fought on Sky his whole career except for Tyson Fury's fight, so sorry. I think he will. I think he'll consider it. I think he's going to look at everything, and we'll speak to him. But right now, we're investing in the future. We feel like we've got headliners to come. Dillian will always speak to, and we'll always look at, and we do have a good relationship. But that will be up to him. But I'm sure, come autumn time, he'll be back in the ring.
And then last of all, AJ, there was a video on Twitter, I think Benson or someone put it up, of him like fronting some uni students. Have you seen that? How did you react?
I've actually not seen it, so I'm not going to comment. I'm a massive fan of Anthony Joshua. He's done amazing things for the sport. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. All right, thanks for your time, Ben. And June the 11th, Turchi, Riakporhe Turchi, I should say, Wembley Arena.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
So, thanks for that again.